The King and I.
Patty and Emily, thoughts and comedy from Broadway super fans. From Broadway super fans.
I love The King and
I know.
The show. I've never seen it on stage, and I started crying. I was so happy it was happening.
I had never seen it either, and I really enjoyed it. I don't have whatever emotional attachment you have to it, but
It's because of feminism.
It's beautiful, and I love it so much.
You know what it is in this show that I identified is the thing that makes me love it so much? Watching this kick-ass, strong, independent lady, nice white lady, but strong, independent lady, and like this totally patriarchal dude, jerk, fall for each other is like A+ in Emily's feminism brain.
Like, that's that sort of charming jerk done right, where like eventually
He comes around,
and also you see why, because of him coming around, but also you see why she's falling for him. And I think it's because that's the whole arc of their relationship, whereas usually it's like the first scene where they meet and all of a sudden she's interested in him.
Right.
You don't...
I feel like you actually get to watch these people fall for each other. And the other thing is that it isn't actually necessarily a romance at all.
Well, yeah, it's like My Fair Lady.
The only moment, I think, in The King and I that makes you be like, oh god, they're in love, is Shall We Dance? Not even Shall We Dance? It's literally the only moment is when he's like, no, like this.
Right.
It's like that, it's like a, ooh, because she's all of a sudden like, this is getting real, and he's like, this is happening.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the audience is like, yeah. Like, you just like want that to happen so badly all of a sudden. Yeah. If his character hadn't died, and she had also not left. Yeah. Because I think if he had stayed alive, she would have left. Yeah. But if he had not died and she had left, I don't think it ever would have been romantic at all. It's really just because of that one moment in Shall We Dance, and also because of the time period and the golden era, and when it was written, it was like, give us a goddamn romance or we're gonna riot!
Which I like that they were kind of like, we're kind of giving you one, but
not really. I love this show so much. It's just beautiful. I think this production is so gorgeous. Like, I mean the set, I loved it. That stage
it's Lincoln
is so
Center.
big. It's so beautiful.
It's Lincoln Center. You know?
Everything was gorgeous. Yeah. Costumes, all design aspects were spot on and 100% and gorgeous.
Those costumes. Every time she came out in a new dress, I was like,
yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
And Kelly O'Hara, a beautiful musical theater angel who sings so. Yeah. It's actually funny because like this score is sort of like you don't have to be a super amazing singer to play Anna. Yeah. You just need Marty Nixon.
Who's a super amazing singer.
For how amazing Kelly O'Hara's voice is and how much I want to hear it, I did think that, you know, she had enough moments where I got to hear how beautiful Kelly O'Hara's voice was without being angry that there wasn't more, but also there could always be more Kelly O'Hara singing beautifully. Yeah, but I just love this show so much. And it's like, you know, it's a full show. It's a full, like, 2:45. Yeah. It feels like 5 minutes.
It really didn't feel like it.
It didn't feel like it at all.
That first act is like an hour and a half, and it did not feel like it.
It's so, it moves, the way the scene changes, everything was like, all of the ensemble were like doing all their scene changes completely in character, so they didn't even feel like scene changes. They felt like the servants in the palace were moving things around. Like, it was very skillful.
Yeah. Bartlett Shore. It's a great director.
Great director. I wish I could remember at what point I started crying. It might have been just when she was on the ship. And
oh my god, that boat.
And I just was like, it's happening. Kelly, this is a boat. Yeah. She's whistling. Yeah. Everything about this show was perfect besides the white savior aspect, which you can't really take out of it.
It's only white savior when it turns to being the specifically Western acts, like you were saying. Going from, instead of being like, at the very end, the next king says, no more, like, bowing prostrate on the ground. No more groveling in front of me. You don't need to do that to show respect. Everyone stand up. You still show respect, but you show it this way. And it's a very Western bow. It's a bow and a curtsy. If it had just been like, show respect by bowing. Maybe no specific instructions given, but because it was specifically a Western bow, that made it more heavy-handed.
It made it feel much more like, we gotta reform those savages.
Right.
Those barbarians.
Right.
I think the interesting thing that's happening in this show is that, and it's hard to pick apart because it's completely intertwined, because the thing that I react to in it is, like, the gender aspect of it.
Sure, absolutely.
And then there's the race aspect of it. So in the gender aspect of it, I love that you have a strong, independent lady teaching a dumb man how to respect women.
Right.
But, on the other hand, I don't like that it's a white lady teaching an Asian man how to respect things.
Yeah.
Ooh. The other thing that comes into play is the time period and the Western modern world is operating in a very different way.
Yeah.
And this is like the old world, and you've gotta, adapt or die. You have to adapt or the British are just gonna fucking take over.
Well, that too.
Basically, it's like you have no choice but to get with the program. Because if you don't, they're gonna kill you.
Right. Do you show them a Western dinner with Western table service, or you don't, and then they just take your country over?
So it's a lose-lose all over the place.
Yeah.
White people suck. I wanted so badly to be there was like a pig pile of Kelly O'Hara and kids, and I was like, I want to get in there.
Yeah.
I want to be.
Really
she like grabs one of them and is hugging one in her lap, and I was like, I want to be that kid. Ken Watanabe. I thought he was great.
He was great.
A little hard to understand.
A little mush mouth.
A little pat on the palm.
Yeah, a little pat on the palm. Especially during It's a Puzzlement.
Yeah, there was some where I was just
a lot of words in that song.
Oh.
Yeah.
One of my faves.
Yeah, it's great.
Love that song.
And he was like performing it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I loved his characterization.
Yeah,
I thought it was
really
great.
Funny.
He was really funny.
And, like,
all the stuff when she's like inceptioning him, he was in that.
Oh yeah.
Where she's like, and he's like, whoa, what would you do if you were handling this situation? She's like, I do this thing, and then he was like, I've decided to, like,
that's what I was going to do.
So,
I wanted to,
he was playing it perfect,
and I love
Ruthie and Amaya.
I'm so happy I got to see her.
Oh my god, she's
because she wasn't in Here Lies Love when I saw it, and all I heard was how great she was.
Yeah, wonderful. Oh my god, I love her. I thought she was so fantastic. I loved the way she played the character.
Yes.
You're inclined to think that all the wives are dumb because you want to believe that if they understood what was happening to them and if they understood the situation, that they would fight back against it. And that is not fair to them.
No, that's like
or their
blaming
situation.
the victim.
Exactly.
Why didn't you leave?
Right. And I feel like she is the person who's like, I see it, I understand it, I'm playing the game.
Because she doesn't see any other choice at this point.
Right.
I think she wants to be there to look out for all of the other wives. She was great. And that's such an interesting character, and the way she works in the show is so interesting and heartbreaking and inspiring.
She's so
all
regal
at the same time, right? Yeah, and
she's
she's so nice. I feel like that character could so easily be written as a villain to all of those people, to Tuptim, to Anna, to the king, even resentful,
Yeah,
and I wouldn't blame her.
Ashley Park. Wonderful.
Oh my god, she was great.
Her voice is gorge.
Beautiful. And she was so light and heartbreaking and...
Oh, I loved her Small House of Uncle Thomas.
Yes.
She was fantastic in that.
That whole thing.
Like, I really felt her in, like, I feel like, she's narrating it but there's so much happening that it's easy to just watch what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
And listen to the narration. But I was, like, watching her and being like, you are giving such good performance right now.
Yeah. Run, Eliza.
God, I fucking love that whole sequence.
It's so beautiful.
It's so cool and, like, beautiful and great.
Yeah, a woman wrote that book, you dum-dums.
Conrad Ricamora. Fantastic.
Arms.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, congratulations.
Yeah. He was great.
Yeah.
I wish he had more.
Yeah, me too.
You know? He had a beautiful voice.
I mean, I don't think for the structure of the show that character needs more.
I agree.
But, you know.
John Victor Corpuz.
Amazing.
So great.
He was fantastic.
He was really great.
Like, also, because I don't know exactly how old that character is supposed to be. I feel like he's usually played the same age or close to the same age as Anna's son.
Yeah.
And Louis, I really appreciated that he felt older.
Yeah.
And I thought it really helped. That scene that they have together, where they're like, dude, adults, what the fuck?
Right? That's great.
I loved that. And it was so good. And like, that age when you're all of a sudden like, oh my god, adults don't have all the answers. Fuck. Especially because, you know, Louis is sort of like, yeah, what? Adults don't know what they're talking about. He was like, I thought that there was going to be a switch that flips, like when I become king, and then I'm going to know all the things. How do I know all the things? What? I'm supposed to know all the things. Oh my god, why don't I know all the things? How do I know all the things?
Well, and can you imagine, he's king, he's being groomed to be king, his father is king, his father has always said the same things to him, in the same way, about the truth that he knew. And now that's changing. And he always was just supposed to do and believe what his father said to believe.
Right.
And then his father's like, well, science.
I honestly feel like I want this entire video to be like 20 minutes long and just me talking about how amazing Kelli O'Hara is, but like, you know how amazing Kelli O'Hara is, so like, I don't even need to say anything. I just need to be like, Kelli O'Hara was in this show, and you know.
Not only Kelli O'Hara was in the show, but Kelli O'Hara was in The King and I.
I mean, it...
From Broadway super fans.
Because she's a boss bitch and she wants what she wants.
I know.